In Squid Game Season 2, fans are treated to an even more cerebral series of games on the mysterious island. The villains know they have someone on the inside, leaking information and trying to unite players against them. This is none other than Gi-hun, the winner from Season 1. Gi-hun wants to break the game and end the cycle of the rich using desperate, poor people for fun. However, Gi-hun underestimates the boss. The frontman. Season 2 sheds more light on this villain, and proves he is as smart as Gi-hun when it comes to making an unbeatable system. The frontman was revealed to be In-ho, an ex-cop in South Korea and Jun-ho's missing brother. He won a previous edition of the game, and has since donned the black mask and cloak to manage things. He saw his boss, Il-nam, enter the game in Season 1 to manipulate things on the inside. Since Il-nam, player 001, died due to his illness, In-ho has inherited the game. He is intrigued by Gi-hun wanting to come back, despite having billions of dollars. The frontman allows it once the Squid Game recruiter is killed. He sees Gi-hun is ready to embrace his darker side, so he wants the challenge. But as Gi-hun infects players' minds and gets them to exploit loopholes, such as voting to go home once some money is won, a contingency plan is already in place. In-ho disguises himself as player 001. He takes the lead from Il-nam, copying the same spy twist. Lee Byung-hun has known for years that Squid Game is a huge, worldwide phenomenon. However, he only truly felt that achievement in the immediate run-up to Season 2's December 2024 debut. As Lee points out, his character, the enigmatic frontman, was more of a cameo appearance than anything else in Squid Game's inaugural run, which premiered in 2021. Now, frontman will show even more depth in Squid Game's third and final season, which picks up immediately after Gi-hun's failed rebellion and the murder of Young-bae, Lee Seo-hwan. Gi-hun, player 456, finds himself back in the game, and still under the thumb of his masked nemesis. However, the competition's mysterious puppet master is done hiding in plain sight. He lets go of his player 001 persona and returns to his rightful place in the arena's control room as frontman. For the frontman, he's not really interested in whether or not Gi-hun dies or lives. Frontman wants to dismantle the noble belief that Gi-hun holds on to. Frontman believes that Gi-hun will inevitably change to think just like him. That's why it's important to him that Gi-hun is put back into the games again. Frontman sees Gi-hun's beliefs as foolish, ridiculous, and naive. To him, the history of mankind has always been a cycle of those who rule and those who obey, a pattern that has endured for tens of thousands of years. The Squid Game creator continues. Throughout Squid Game, his goal is to prove this to Gi-hun and make him give in. Yet, frontman didn't always feel this way. This final chapter in frontman and Gi-hun's moral showdown is built atop their complicated relationship in Season 2. Those episodes feature the slow, tragic reveal of frontman's backstory, as he plays alongside Gi-hun under a false identity. Their conversations explain how a man who was once an optimistic police officer became someone who believes that there is absolutely no hope for the world or humanity. Through his young alter ego, frontman tells Gi-hun that he was once married and loved his wife very much. But she was diagnosed with acute cirrhosis and needed a liver transplant. Then the couple also found out she was pregnant. Still, frontman and his wife were determined to welcome their baby, despite medical recommendations to terminate the pregnancy. Complications arose as her condition deteriorated and money became tight. Eventually, frontman borrowed money from the wrong person, and his law enforcement superiors categorized the funds as a bribe. He lost his job and was forced to enter Squid Game. During the competition, he won the grand prize, but lost his soul in the process. Frontman subsequently tries to manipulate Gi-hun into understanding that any success in the game is covered in blood. Going through everything as a player, He was left torn and traumatized, which turned him into an emotionless man deprived of any hope towards humanity, and so he became front man. Somewhere between Young-il, In-ho, and the front man, we'll find the truth of one grieving man's devastated psyche. According to Lee, in Season 2, Episode 6, we can see the clearest depictions of all three of his personas in one scene. During that installment, the Squid Game contestants play Mingle, in which they are tasked with grouping themselves into a specific number and entering a locked room together. During a round in which the group number must consist of exactly 2 people, front man, or player 001, to everyone around him, and trusting player Young-bae, Lee Seo-hwan, enter a room with another person already in it. To get their group number down to precisely 2, front man quickly and easily kills the stranger, choking him and then breaking his neck. Front man doesn't even blink during this act. Young-bae, meanwhile, can only stare at the gruesome tableau in horror. We get In-ho, Young-il, and the front man in that single scene, Lee says. There was such a rush of mixed emotions that I felt there, something very unique and strange. We hope that's something that can be felt by the audience too, when they watch that scene. However, in Season 3, front man is no longer looking back on who he was. He returns to his perch atop the game, and is exclusively focused on what comes next. One of his first orders of business? Fully embracing his role as Squid Game host and welcoming the VIPs back to the island, front man may come off more ruthless and merciless when the billionaires re-enter his purview, but he believes there's more at play than anyone may realize. Some of those exchanges highlight the fact that front man has that last remaining piece of humanity deep down somewhere. While front man was spending all of that time trying to change Gi-hun's mind, it's possible player 450's hopefulness rubbed off on him instead. As he goes through his duel with Gi-hun on their opposing beliefs, being with him for a week, I hope that there is some kind of change sprouting inside of him. Lee says, I hope the viewers also see this seed of hope.